visual clues. This potion's face-changing effects are very powerful. Even as a Melazine, I couldn't see through the disguise. But I believe I understand humanity a little better than most of my kind. Humans have certain fundamental qualities that do not change with their appearance.
Fundamental qualities, huh? So you think you're the one who's seen through me, do you? Most people probably don't know this, but I think I can guess what your deal is. Melazine constitutions are very close to that of water, so it stands to reason that the potion should work on them, too. You use it yourself, didn't you? That's why you have a human appearance.
Sigewinne? Yes, you're right.
I'll bet it was back in the days when Melazines were discriminated against because of their appearance. It was either carry on living in the gutters as part of an alien race cast out by humanity, or become the head nurse of the fortress of Meripede, revered by all. Not a hard choice to make. It's a no-brainer. So you see, you and I were the same. And I'm the one who saw through you!
That's not important right now. You came here to see your mother, didn't you? Well, I can grant you your wish.
Huh?
Head nurse, I'm not sure that's a good idea in his current state.
Don't worry. Back in the warehouse when I traded the potion for our lives, I was doing it to test him. He was willing to risk sacrificing his only chance of escaping capture by opening the gate in exchange for the potion. Also, he could see his mother again. If nothing else, his concern for his mother is genuine.
I see.
So before you arrest him, please allow him to see his mother one last time. The Traveler and I will accompany him. You have nothing to worry about.
All right. I understand. Join the head nurse inside. If he tries anything at all, shout.
I don't trust this guy much. Be careful. I don't trust this guy much. Be careful.
Mom? It's me, Potton, your son. You recognize me now, don't you? Mom, what's wrong?
I'm sorry, but I have some bad news. I examined your mother last time we were here, and it appears that due to her prolonged fever, she's lost her eyesight.
What?
Your appearance no longer has any bearing on her ability to recognize you. But there are always other ways to remind our loved ones who we are. Wouldn't you say?
No, it can't be. Please, Mom, open your eyes. It's me, your son, Potton. If you really can't see my face, then here, take my hand. Tell me you feel your son's hand. I've done so much to get to this point. Please, you have to recognize me. No.
The temperature of his palm must have changed. I'm sorry. It seems I couldn't bring him back to you after all.
It's you. Thank you.
Oh, of course.
Mom, why will you answer her and not me? Why?
No more questions, Potton. She's gone.
Mom?
I'm sorry to say this, Potton, but you and I are not the same.
The wait is over, everyone! The sale of our new skincare product, Romaritime Essence.
Another skincare promotion! And it's selling as fast as last time. Wonder what people would think if they knew what was in the last bit. Oh, Sigewinne's here too! Hey, Sigewinne!
Oh, Traveler Paimon, hello! Oh, I hope you two got a good rest yesterday after all your hard work.
Of course! Nurse's orders, right? Anyway, are you here to take notes for your next article?
Actually, I'm mostly here to help Officer Morgan wrap up yesterday's case.
Ah, that reminds Paimon. That stuff sold like crazy, didn't it? Is it gonna cause huge...
Nope, there's nothing to worry about. Unless modified, Butterfly Dew is an excellent skincare product that's complete. Besides, officers have already retrieved all Butterfly Dew purchased on the market. Now it's just a matter of disposal. After consulting Monsieur Nervulette, I came up with a way to neutralize any harmful effects, so it'll evaporate naturally without polluting water or soil.
Wow, it's Sigewinne to the rescue again!
Thank you for serving as our consultant, head nurse. All the butterfly dew we recovered has been disposed of, according to your instructions.
Great! Good job, everyone!
Also, you mentioned you wanted a copy of Rawat's interrogation records. Well, technically, Potton's records. Anyway, I have them with me. After he saw his mother for the last time, it was like all his mental defenses came crashing down. He put up no resistance during the interrogation, and answered all our questions. We learned a lot. Apparently, the formula was something he discovered by chance, while helping the criminal gang produce synth. Later, he came up with the idea to dilute it, and use the resulting substance as a skincare Their supplier was Vache. But you could also argue that they were the ones doing him a favor. His operation helped Vache's gang dispose of an enormous amount of evidence. It made for a seamless collaboration. One man's trash was another man's treasure, and there were no loose ends. It's no wonder we never noticed what Potton's gang was up to.
Vache again, huh? Is there still no end to the harm he caused?
Make no mistake. The crimes of Vache and his accomplices will come to an end. It's only a matter of time. Since the flood cut off their supply of primordial seawater, they've been forced to resort to riskier methods, like using their private reserve to attack people on the street. Naturally, those attempts all ended in failure. After receiving numerous reports, we were able to zero in on the gang.
That sounds more like it.
Based on what he told us in his confession, we pretty much had him backed into a corner, even though he made a point of distancing himself from the gang while disguised as Rawat. He tried to throw us off his tail by reporting his accomplices, giving him enough time to transform back into Potton and see his mother one last time. But there was one thing he hadn't anticipated. Even though Potton had been missing for a long time, we were very much still on the lookout for him. So, the moment he appeared in public, after changing back to his original appearance, we caught him.
So he tried this once before, huh? Guess he really did want his mother to see him again. But in the end...
Looking at the interrogation records, it seems like he spent the first sum of money he earned as Rawat on it.
Yes, which is why I suspect that his initial motive for using the potion was not personal greed. Even so, he went too far. In the end, he got what he deserved.
I understand. Thank you for bringing me these records.
Why did you want them anyway?
Potton was one of my patients, so I need to put together a medical file for him. My teacher always stressed that a person's life experiences are just as important to their file as their medical history.
Why are you still treating him like your patient?
That may be true, but a patient is a patient, regardless of the choices that bring them to my care.
One last thing, head nurse. Please keep everything you know about this potion a secret. It would be for the best if most of Fontaine knows nothing of its existence. I know my fellow officers and I will be able to sleep easier if that's the case.
Of course. Not to worry.
Thank you for understanding. I'll take my leave then.
So, Sigewinne, did you really use that potion yourself?
Why do you sound so surprised, Paimon? I told you all about it. It was quite a while ago.
You mean that story about the witch and the potion?
Yes, it really actually genuinely was.
But...
I know. There are some secrets I can't tell anyone about. But considering everything we've been through together, I know I can trust you with them. Before I tell you, though, could you follow me somewhere? I want to pay my...
Of course!
Stocks are running low, so purchase soon to avoid disappointment.
Neverlet and Risley, they're here too!
Good to see you, Traveler. Paimon. I trust all has been going well for you?
Big news, everyone. The Udex is out of his office on important business.
Is that genuinely something people would consider big news?
Why wouldn't they? Important business is a big deal.
Ah, yes, you're quite right. When someone you care about requires emotional support, being there for them at the right time and place is of the utmost importance. After reading the Maréchal Phantom's reports, I had a feeling a trip...
Take note. That, my friends, is how Monsieur Neuvillette shows that he cares. We're both here for the same purpose, actually. To accompany Sigewinne as she pays her respects to her late teacher.
So the old friend she mentioned was her teacher? Oh, sorry. Paimon didn't mean to be rude. It's only because Sigewinne calls her...
I doubt she considers that title to be offensive, Paimon.
Indeed. In fact, I believe Sigewinne would take it as a sign of affection. She has spoken of this doctor on many occasions, and it sounds like she was... In those days, many people harbored prejudices against Melusines. She was the only teacher willing to...
Wow. It's really nice of you two to be here for Sigewinne.
Younger colleague. Well, that might be true for the Udex, but I'm not sure I can say the same. Sigewinne served a sentence in the fortress of Meripede hundreds of years ago, and after she did her time, she decided to stick around. She's been an integral part. Strictly speaking, the head nurse has been around longer than most people in the fortress, myself included. Pretty sure that makes me the younger colleague.
She served a sentence?
Yes. Long before I became Udex, there was an ancient law in Fontaine that prohibited any attempt to transform another species into a human. Initially, I and most researchers believed this law to have been imposed due to ethics, but now, it seems more likely that the law was nothing more than an insurance policy, a way for Egeria to ensure that her people would remain insulated from the truth, thus enabling them to lead more straightforward, happier...
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Sigewinne had her reasons for choosing to obtain a human form, but the act was nonetheless in clear violation of the law.
Could you tell us a little bit more about what happened back then?
Certainly. Sigewinne does not object to her close friends learning about her history. In fact, I first learned of it myself because she confessed the truth to me of her own volition.
Even with their daughter so ill, they kicked you out? Stubborn as always. And prejudice isn't a disease I can cure either. Shame that I don't have the energy to get over there. You're laughable, you old witch. You want to save everyone in Fontaine, but you can't even save the patient before you.
Master, what are you...
I discovered a strange disease, One I suspect that every Fontanian suffers from. But without witnesses or proof, no one will believe me. I had no choice but to experiment on myself to find a cure, but I hit a wall. And as you can see, it took a wretched toll on me.
Then I'll find a cure for you, and then you can go cure her.
There's no need. I am beyond saving now. There's nothing you can do.
But, Master?
As I said before, a doctor's duty is to treat whatever ailments they can.
I know, but they don't trust me at all.
That girl. She's your first ever patient, isn't she? Tell me, what cost are you willing to bear to see her cured?
I'll do whatever it takes.
Even if it means breaking the law and being punished for it?
As long as I don't hurt anyone. Yes.
Spoken like a true student of mine. Then I shall make one more final gamble. And see my experiment through to its end. Leave me for now, and come back in 2 hours. If I am able to work this miracle, then I will have found a way to save all Fontanians, and I shall be able to help you treat that girl. If not, then it means there is one more disease in this world that I cannot treat. In that case, do not come looking for me. I will leave you a parting gift. An accidental discovery happened upon through my study of this strange disease. It has little use, but it will at least help you cure this one patient you can reach.
When Sigewinne returned, the miracle had not occurred. She found a potion bottle and a note on the table. After using the potion as instructed, she gained her current form, breaking Fontaine's law in the process. And after I had confirmed the veracity of the events, I gave my verdict.
So that's what happened.
I fear Sigewinne only understood the full story after the truth about the dissolution of Fontanians was uncovered. When I reflected on all this with that knowledge in hand, I felt a deep sense of regret. As I use the law to uphold justice, there are times when I cannot help but acknowledge its ruthlessness. After the final details of the events surrounding Sigewinne's transformation came to light, I checked several sources and, thankfully, the legal code does not require Sigewinne to shoulder any additional punishment.
Wonder how she...
Since she invited you here, I imagine she intends to speak of these matters with you, no? On behalf of the Maréchaussée Phantom, I would like to once again thank the Fortress of Meripede for your assistance in the response to yesterday's prison break.
Our head nurse and the Traveler in Paimon did most of the heavy lifting, I would say.
Sigewinne seems to be in good spirits. I trust work hasn't been too hard on her lately?
Well, she might be the only permanent medical staff in the fortress, but there's plenty of people with medical knowledge willing to help her out.
I am most relieved to hear it.
The way you're asking after her well-being makes you sound like a concerned parent.
Well, I won't lie. I've always seen myself that way.
Showing your age a bit there, don't you think?
Indeed. Actually, I often forget just how much older I am than you.
Well, while we're on the topic, what did you do before getting this job anyway? Spend all day swimming in the sea from east to west and then north to south?
Yes, and from the surface to the ocean floor on occasion.
Wow. Impressive.
Apologies, that was merely an attempt at humor. You can disregard what I said.
That's impossible, I'm afraid. My imagination's already running wild.
You're here. The old friend I mentioned was my teacher. When she passed, her body was nowhere to be found. All that's left of her is an empty tomb. And even that's deep underwater now.
Sigewinne, the witch who gave you the magic potion, she was your teacher, wasn't she?
Sounds like Monsieur Neuvillette filled you in.
After learning the truth, it must have been hard to process, huh?
Well, to be honest, after I realized what really happened that night, my first thought was that it kind of made sense. It seemed exactly like the sort of thing she would do.
But she was planning to sacrifice herself and never told you.
That's just who she was. If lying is what it took to get a kid to take their medicine, then that's what she'd do.
Alright, but why did you turn yourself in?
I broke the law, simple as that. My teacher made her choice, and I made mine.
True. It's just, the way Potton framed it when he was asking you all those questions, it made Paimon really mad. You're not like him at all, and everything Neuvillette said confirms that. And yet, you were still convicted and thrown...
Unfair? I happen to think just the opposite. If I hadn't served that time, I'm not sure I would have been able to stay strong when he was questioning me.
What makes you say that?
I knew you'd be curious. The verdict came down. This Melusine is guilty. The Iudex defended the authority of Fontaine law, but he did not confiscate the Melusine's medical kit. And so, the Fortress of Meripede gained a new little doctor. She still wore her hood and raincoat, even though it never rained in the fortress. Perhaps thanks to her human appearance, no one refused her treatment. She treated more and more patients, and her sentence grew ever shorter. Finally, the people of the fortress could not live without her, and though her sentence ended, she did not leave them either. Then one day, she received an invitation from the outside world. The location seemed familiar, and when she arrived, an old lady was waiting for her. She saw right through the Melizine's disguise, but didn't reveal it. Instead, she asked a question.
Tell me, why do you think you gained the respect of so many people, despite being a Melizine?
Because I look like a human?
It's been 50 years, Sigewinne, and you haven't aged a day. I think everyone knows you are not human. I finally found you, after all these years. I still remember, you know. It was you who saved me that night.
But how? I was no longer a Melizine by then.
Does it really matter if you're human or Melizine? I remember the warmth of your palm. It's quite unmistakable. And you know what? It hasn't changed one bit. You don't have to hide anymore, Sigewinne. These days, everyone wants to make friends with Melizines. And I think that it's all because of you. I'm sorry I couldn't say this until now, but thank you, Dr. Melizine.
Now that's an ending Paimon can get behind.
After hearing everything Potten said, I wanted to tell him that it didn't matter who he looked like on the outside. But it was too late. The warmth in his palm had already disappeared. I tried to treat him, but the roots of his problem had nothing to do with his face. I understand. Thanks, you two. I appreciate you being here for me while I talk this through.
Oh, it's nothing. Our pleasure.
Oh, there's one more reason I invited you here. It's about time I finally give you what I promised. In order to restore the appearances of the face-swapping victims, the Marechaussee Phantom gave me special permission to make a few bottles of that potion. And I made one extra just for you.
We don't...
Well, even if you chose to destroy it, I still thought I should give it to you first. You two did so much for me.
Well, fair enough, but anyway, Paimon's definitely not interested in this stuff anymore. Still, if this is the very last bottle in all of Teyvat, getting rid of it would feel like Melizine physiology wasn't affected by the Great Flood, right? So that means the potion should have a permanent effect on you. And that, after all, from a Melizine point of view,
Paimon, after everything, do you really think it matters whether I'm Melizine or a human?
Well, what was Paimon thinking? You made up your mind to
leave it to me. I'd like to stay here with my teacher for a little longer. I'd like to stay here with my